doing a good job to the city, and we're very appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
William Butte, 720 Hawthorne Road. There's an Armed Forces Park dedication on June 14th at 3 p.m. on Hanoverville Road at State Route 512 in Hanover Township. The park will honor deceased, retired, and active members of the United States Armed Forces. Just thought I'd let everybody know about that, and may I put this flyer into record, please?
Absolutely.
All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Burgess?
Alberta Tuss, 1004 Johnson Drive. I'm going to try to keep my comments to 5 minutes. Why does that say 421?
It's a Tuesday.
Thank you very much. I'm going to follow the lupus rule. I'd like 10 seconds before that starts. Oh, we won't go into that. All right. Oh, I had a whole bunch of things to say tonight. I'm getting more comfortable up here, but I think in the future when I make comments up here, I'm going to have the camera on me so I can project them onto the website for city council purposes. But tonight I really want to talk about the zoning hearing board and a few other issues. I guess you might feel I'm very disheartened with the zoning hearing board. I really think that they're a biased group of people. And I'd like to bring to the attention of the council, I know you can't do anything about it because they're a separate organization, okay? Quasi-judicial organization, appointed by the mayor no less, all right? Which is another reason I'm totally against the mayor appointing everybody in the city on commissions and boards, and I think the council will take a hand in that, and especially with the anti-discrimination. How the mayor is going to be able to appoint 1 or 2 or 60% of people that are on an anti-discrimination commission when there's going to be, this is a large employer right here, and there's going to be discrimination suits right here probably, and yet the mayor is going to appoint people to the commission that are going to judge whether or not the city was, discriminate. Makes absolutely no sense. The mayor should have nothing to do with appointing anyone to that commission. All right, getting back to why I'm up here to talk. I want to talk about the attitudes of the members of the zoning hearing board. It appears that members of the zoning hearing board, contrary to their frequent protestations to the contrary, do not function as an impartial board. At the February 15, 2011 City Council meeting, each member of the zoning hearing board, along with their solicitor, arose during courtesy to the floor to raise their opposition to a majority vote requirement. They are certainly entitled to their opinion, but below in this letter, and everyone has this letter, so does the press, so I don't need to send it to anybody or put it in the record. You'll find a brief analysis of their comments, and in several cases their quotes. You decide from their quotes if the bias they express permits the quoted member to be seen as an impartial member of the board. Bill Fitzpatrick. The good news about Bill Fitzpatrick is he didn't make one biased statement when he came up here to talk to council. That was terrific. Ken Kraft. He did not make one biased statement when he came up here. He stated his piece about what he thought about majority, and that was the end of it, okay? Although Ken Kraft does think otherwise of me, he's not too enamored with me. I think everyone's seen that letter too, okay? But we won't go into much detail about that. Now, I think the mayor also appointed Ken Kraft, and I would suggest to the mayor that he suggested to Ken Kraft that no matter how irritated he gets with any citizen that comes up to voice their opinion, he doesn't run out of the room mumbling under his breath certain epithets that shouldn't be said. Frankly, they ought to consider having him resign from the board. Now, Gus Lupus, chairman and regular voting member of the board. This is from audio tape position 22.25, okay? This is his quote. All of these projects have added tax revenues to the city, and tax rolls are giving the city extra revenue, which the city needs desperately. That is the chairman of the zoning hearing board. How can he make an unbiased decision? He's got in the back of his mind, we're going to generate more taxes, we have to be interested in people that have developed the property and increasing taxes. That's an impartial decision maker? I don't think so. Mickey Thompson, solicitor for the zoning hearing board. I would suggest that with development being what it is today and the need for the growth of the economy, that putting any more roadblocks and any more obstacles in front of people coming into the city who want to invest their money and their time to come in and develop and make the city better. I think any more obstacles would be just a horrible thing, and I think the outcome would be negative for everybody. Thank you. No bias there. Not at all.
Mr. Burns, just let me just interject a point.
Am I reserving my time, sir?
On this path, you're allowed to make, I'm going to permit you making, taking quotes from the record, as long as you don't attack the motives or the character of the individual.
Well, I'm not attacking the motives of the individual.
I'm just laying it out.
But I am laying out that my opinion is that they're biased, okay? That's my opinion. And I'm making a quote. These are not my words, they're theirs, okay? I just lost 15 seconds too, by the way. Ron Lutz, he's biased also. Here's his quote. I want to point out one thing. We, these 5 guys, we take this job seriously. We do listen to all the testimony. They listen, all right? We deliberate amongst ourselves, and we think about the walls that were dealt with, as far as the ordinances that we had. And 2, I want to also point out that what we're dealing with, you got to remember, is very old ordinances. What you guys need to do is pass this new comprehensive plan, which is 90% the same as the old one. And he meant the zoning ordinance, which will then put the new ordinance in effect. It is very difficult when you're working with antiquated ordinances, and you've got to make decisions that we make. That's all I have to say. Thank you. He's not biased either. All those members appointed by the mayor. Also, so that's what we're fighting. And we're also fighting intimidation from the Alliance family. Initially, this was...
Thank you, Mr. Burns. I gave you 15
You gave me 15 seconds? I'll have to come back next week to talk about that.
Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Rodriguez?
Jeez, do I get too animated? What?
Eddie Rodriguez, 1845 Linden Street, Bethlehem.
That's my personality.
Not now, but not during my time, with all due respect, but I would like a general update about what's happening with Martin Towers. Behind Price Right, I was there, and I was walking the dog, and behind the railroad track area, under the overpass, I heard gunshots. I know what gunshots, sound like. There's a lot of graffiti in that area. There's a lot of homeless people possibly in that area. Somebody's traveling around there. I would investigate that. I would also investigate what's happening further with 409, 411, because that 411 Wyandotte Street happened to be a drug place at one point in time. That's another one. Who's the owner of 409 versus 411? I don't want to see that 411 come up again. Stu knows what's going on. I just gave him the eye. 8th and West Broad Street. Okay, 8th and West Broad, excuse me. I talked to Mike Alco with reference to the pedestrian crossings. Someone brought it to my attention. There was a crossing guard, or still is a crossing guard, and I would like something to be investigated in that area. Find out what's needed, cautionary lights or more painting, or I'm under the impression. I will go there myself and check it out. I haven't had the time. Police horses. Again, I'll give you that look because this is really... Police horses are traveling up and down Union Boulevard by the Moravian House area, and they have completely destroyed what was left of the grassy area there, and a lot of poop, and I mean poop, left and right, on the sidewalk and on the grassy area. Unreal, and it's being left over on Main Street by the Moravian. I've seen that myself. Unreal. I don't want to see that happen either. There's a lot of people that walk around that area, especially senior citizens. We have to walk over, around it, and so on and so forth. It's been happening a lot around that area. I appreciate the help of the police officers and what they do, but something got to be done about this. Pawnee Street is even worse now than it ever was. Got some new characters in there that are coming in, thinking what they can do, particularly in 424, and I'm going to pinpoint it, 424 Pawnee Street, and at 513 Pawnee Street, some other in cahoots together, or some newcomers coming in and, you know, destroying the neighborhood more than what it is. And it's not only happening on Pawnee Street, it's also happening on the north side. Center Street, Raspberry, Broad Street. What you don't see, I see. So if there's any concern to have more police officers, you know, patrol the areas on the north side just as well as on the south side, do so. It's getting worse. Don't take it for granted that nothing's going to happen. It will happen. Take it from me. I would like some periodic updates so that residents of Bethlehem can be educated on do's and don'ts wherever they travel, which I've been asking for from the administration and council to meet with each other and see what can be done. Let them know the do's and don'ts of, for instance, walking alone, pairing up with each other, carpooling, whatever it takes. Don't be alone at a certain hour, so on and so forth. And if you are, make sure that somebody knows where you're at, especially children. You got to watch over children. Parenting is something that, you know, it should be, I don't know what's happening with parents nowadays. Last but not least, I'm still concerned why there never was an investigation on the threat on my life from a city employee when he was not working. But I brought this to Tony Hanna's attention. It was never, ever investigated. And that's a fault of the police department. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Gentleman in the back.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, I'm Joe Cossio, Bethlehem Police. Sorry about my appearance, I've been off a little. I was hoping that you would reconsider my leave of absence. My leave of absence has no pay, but I still continue to make my contributions, which keeps up my insurance. My insurance is necessary for my medical bills, my coming, excuse me, my coming back to work. My doctors and I plan that I should have a full recovery and I should be able to complete my tour here at the Bethlehem Police Department. I am only 42. I can retire next year. You know, I can make, between my doctors and I, we're believing I will be back. Like I said, right now I'm not earning any pay. I contribute to my insurance and other benefits, and I'd just like you to consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Ms. Pongratz?
My name is Mary Pongratz, and I live at 321 West 4th Street. I just want to tell you that 409, 411 are part of Palace Row. Palace Row is probably one of the last standing wooden storefronts in the area, if not in the state. The Spring Hill Development Corporation came to us with plans at the Conservation Commission, and when that is completed, it will be a wonderful, really wonderful remaking of that particular area. They are not the only two buildings in Palace Road that are being renovated. So hopefully, with some more luck, we will eventually have all of the wooden storefronts restored to the original beauty. I thought you would like to know that. My second comment is, I was here last week at the hearing of the Human Relations Commission, and I have to say, I realize how lucky most of us are after listening to some of the people who spoke. It was truly an eye-opener for many of us who were there, who assume that everybody is accepted regardless of whatever. And I do compliment the administration for the recommendation for a Human Relations Commission, but I find it very sad that we have to consider legislation to require that people should do without being told that they must do it. It is my right and your right as a human being to be treated with dignity and with respect. So I have to say this time, it won't happen too often, this time I'm in the mayor's corner. A Human Relations Commission is necessary to make some people grow up and realize everybody has feelings, everybody wants to be loved, and everybody wants to be as good looking as the rest of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? This meeting is adjourned.